Welcome to JJ Biz Consult. In our continuing coverage of the run-up to the 2024 U.S. presidential election, we are looking at some of the long-shot candidates in the race spending millions of their own dollars. Without much ado, let's dive in. The 2024 presidential election is still 2 years away, but the Republican candidates are already starting to spend big money. Some of the long-shot candidates in the race are spending millions of their own dollars on their campaigns in an effort to gain traction. One of the most well-funded long-shot candidates is former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley. She has loaned her campaign over $10 million and has raised another $10 million from donors. Haley is a rising star in the Republican Party and is seen as a potential contender for the presidency. She is a conservative who is known for her tough stance on immigration and her support for the military. She is also a strong advocate for women and minorities. Nikki Haley is a former governor of South Carolina and the first woman of color to hold that office. She is a rising star in the Republican Party and is seen as a potential contender for the presidency. Haley is a conservative who is known for her tough stance on immigration and her support for the military. She is also a strong advocate for women and minorities. Another long-shot Republican candidate who is spending a lot of his own money on his campaign is former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. He has loaned his campaign over $10 million and has raised another $5 million from donors. Pompeo was a popular figure among conservatives, but he is not as well known as some of the other Republican candidates in the race. He would have needed to raise his profile and introduce himself to more voters if he wanted to be a serious contender for the nomination. However, after spending grossly, he has announced that he is no longer running for president. The only billionaire in the Republican presidential race was former hedge fund CEO Tom Steyer. He has loaned his campaign over $20 million and has raised another $10 million from donors. Steyer is a self-described progressive populist who is running on a platform of economic populism and environmentalism. He was a long shot for the nomination, but he had the money to stay in the race for a while. However, Steyer announced on February 14, 2023, that he is no longer running for president. Steyer was a long-shot candidate for the Democratic nomination. He had raised a significant amount of money, but he was not as well known as some of the other candidates in the race. He also faced criticism for his past investments in fossil fuels. In his announcement, Steyer said that he was proud of the campaign we ran, and that he had raised the issues that matter most to the American people. He also said that he would continue to work to make our country a better place. Nikki Haley, Mike Pompeo, and Tom Steyer are not the only ones spending their own money on their campaigns for the 2024 Democratic nomination. Candace Owens has also said that she will be spending her own money on her campaign. She has not released any details about how much money she will be spending, but she has said that she is not afraid to self-fund her campaign. Andrew Yang has also said that he will be spending his own money on his campaign. He has not released any details about how much money he will be spending, but he has said that he is not afraid to invest in myself. It is important to note that these candidates are not the only ones who have the potential to spend a lot of money on their campaigns. Other candidates, such as Michael Bloomberg and Tom Steyer, have the resources to self-fund their campaigns if they choose to do so. It is also important to note that not all candidates who spend their own money are successful. In the 2020 Democratic presidential primary, for example, Tom Steyer spent over $200 million on his campaign, but he was ultimately unsuccessful in winning the nomination. Ultimately, the success of a candidate who spends their own money on their campaign will depend on a number of factors, including their name recognition, their fundraising ability, and their message. It is still early in the 2024 presidential election race, and it is unclear who the Republican nominee will be. However, the long-shot candidates who are spending millions of their own money on their campaigns are making a statement that they are serious about winning. They are also sending a message to the other Republican candidates that they will not be easy to beat. That's all for today. Thanks for watching JJ Biz Consult. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back next time with more coverage of the 2024 U.S. presidential election.